we kind of throw a bunch at you, like a very Nike ad aesthetic of flash and stuff to kind of distract you from the underlying message. And then we give you time to sit with the message itself and try to figure out what these layers mean.
You want to be a legend? Let me tell you something. This ain't a game.
I don't know how challenging it was for you, but I feel that the movie, while it's advancing, is getting darker because we figured it out. We're trying to figure it out what's going on. There's so many hints. How challenging is that for you when you are in your room and you have to add a person out of nothing? That you have to even put the film that looks darker in some places and then just evolve with the POV of the character.
There's moments of challenges. We're lucky I get to start with like the script as a guide. And so I think any decisions and notes that come from that they're easy to weigh against the script. Like, we're like, okay, if we're still trying to achieve this moment in the story, then, you know, how much sense does this note make? And is it the spirit of the note that we need to pay attention to and not just the note on its face? But honestly, having voices in the room really helps. I mean, it lends to some objectivity when we're kind of in the thick of it and we're trying to, you know, problem solve or add a moment that, you know, wasn't filmed. So it's more helpful than not, for sure. And I'm lucky enough to have the script as a guide and kind of the intentions of tone that are established early on from just the direction that we get.
I'm glad you mentioned the script because this is a non-linear script. Is that easier for you? Because I don't know how your mind works, but I have known a couple editors and they need to have an order in their mind on how to make the movie, you know, working with the director and producers. When you have this script and you have the images, you have everything, how your mind works to put things in order? Because when jump in time and jump into characters, how do you organize this? Because I felt that the movie lasts like 2 hours, but it's actually like 90 minutes.
Yeah. There's moments where, because we are so, it's like a cacophony of sounds, and there's a lot of images that come at you, and there's just a lot of information to glean that we're trying to strike this balance of you know, chaos and calm. And I think there's moments of calm that you're not used to experiencing, and so it feels longer than it actually is.
But even it feels uncomfortable when it's too quiet. When it's at the sauna for like, I don't know, 30 seconds, if like, I don't know, this is not okay. I need more of action.
And it's meant to force you to kind of reflect on the things that we're saying, because we're saying a lot. Like, there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of commentary on like the sport and the poetry of it all. And so we kind of throw a bunch at you, like a very Nike ad aesthetic of flash and stuff to kind of distract you from the underlying message. And then we give you time to sit with the message itself and try to figure out what these layers mean. And yeah, I mean, I think it was just trying to strike that balance, and every time we had a new idea, reassessing what that balance looked like. And so yeah, it's a balancing act, to say that word one more time. A pretty intense one.
I'm glad that you mentioned the kind of style commercial, the ad kind of feeling, because it has short moments of that. When he's training, then when Marlon Wayans has the speech with him, and then there's a beautiful, for me, my favorite scene is when both heads smash and then you can see the skull. And like how that works for you, because you have to have different point of view, but you also have to think that you won't be seeing a person, you won't be seeing an idea that the directors had or something on the script, but then has to pass by CGI. Like, it's a whole mixture of stuff.
So many layers, so many parts and of the process, and you also have to finish things in a certain amount of time so that they can get to the visual effects, so the visual effects can do their like pass and then it comes back. So there's a lot of work. It's a big mechanism and there's a lot of moving parts. But I think honestly, at the end of the day, it's just taking it one scene at a time and trying to understand like what's the most important part of the scene, what's the most important aspect, starting there. And then with that information, you kind of understand, where you want to take it. If you want to make this a montage, if the information makes more sense to just be given cut and dry and directly. It's really just what each scene needs as you go, and usually out of order. So
the film talks about power and that eternal conversation about goats, and everybody's always arguing about who's the goat. And I'm so happy that they choose a female for to create this, because usually we don't correlate this conversation with female perspectives. It's usually male perspectives in every male big sports. Like honestly, I don't know who's the best basketball player in the WNBA. Like I don't know any female goats because there's not a conversation. I'm so happy that they choose you to do this, because I feel that we need to create these subjects and give it some sensitive, like be more sensitive, but also show what is power. And I wonder how was that conversation with the director, what he wanted to show you, and how was that the vision that he has, because like you say, so many layers, so many things, so many characters, but even we have characters that only we see it for like 30 seconds, and they're so important on the story, like the guy who get the balls, like it's so important because this is the first impression that the character has. How was that conversation with him about showing violence, showing power?
it was pretty fluid. And me and the director, we go back maybe 13, 15 years. We went to grad school together and kind of knew each other's work, had a mutual respect for one another. And so after like graduation, we worked together for some time. So I was aware of kind of what his style was and like what he was looking to, like his intentions for each scene as we went. I had at least a good baseline of understanding, and that my role in this was real. With any role, I just happened to be a woman, but I think he mostly respects my attention to performance and some of the nuance that I could inject into the middle of this brutality and violence. I think he also is aware of like my athletic past. I mean, I've played everything under the book. And my dad is a former NFL player, so I'm like very kind of close to the league in that sense. And so I had a lot of personal experience to inject into the film as well, alongside performance acumen. So I think there was a lot, some really easy conversations around the subject of tone with me and the director. There's already an established rapport. So
I honestly don't know the answer, but I'm so curious. Is there any big difference when you have to edit scenes with Marlon Wayans than editing scenes with Isaiah White? Because Marlon is already a figure that we know who is him. Isaiah basically we're just getting to know him. And I wonder if there any big difference at the moment that they are not sharing scenes, or when they share scene, is any bigger difference when in the moment they're editing them as a character?
I mean, he's got so much range, Marlon does. I basically had to sculpt performances to kind of taper him down, because he had so much energy and was so he was just so powerful and affecting. And so it was just about kind of making him seem just inconspicuous at first, and just, we don't want to tip our hands or hats. I can never get that right, but we don't want to tip off the audience too much in the beginning. So making him seem just like a normal, your average everyday guy, and then allowing him to just kind of be his big self towards the end when we're like descending into madness. And I had a lot of fun doing it, because he gave us gold in these performances. He's just so good. And a lot of times I just caught myself like watching dailies just for shits and giggles. Oh, sorry, I can't curse. A lot of times I caught myself.
Of course you can.
I was just watching dailies just for fun, just because I enjoyed the performances so much. And I was like, oh, right, I need to actually cut this into the film and pick one. And so he gave us so much. And it was easy because he has range and there were a lot of choices.
It hurts when you have to leave a scene that you like out of the cut.
For sure. I mean, they're shot because we wanted to see it, and it is hard to leave them, but you do, like, once you understand why, and that it's so the audience can internalize the narrative much more easily, you're like, okay, yeah, this is a sacrifice we're going to have to make for the greater good. So, but we do have deleted scenes. That's an option, I think, on after this is released, that at least the audience will see at some point in time. So I'm sad, but at least it'll be seen.
Did you get to choose, or the director choose what scenes are left behind, or even the ending?
I mean, between the director, producers, and we have test screenings, of course. Like we kind of, based on the notes we get or the spirit of the note that we get, we kind of decide what would work and what wouldn't, left in the film. Because sometimes there are scenes that are really good, but they end up crowding what's already there and confusing the audience even more. So it's just better to kind of take things away and clean it up and make it a little bit more straightforward, so the audience can understand the story and really experience what's going on screen.
I guess I couldn't do it, your job.
Of course, anyone can do it. It's just about practice and experience.
I think my movies will last like 5 hours, maybe. I don't know.
No, actually, same. Honestly, like if I could, I'd have all dailies just strung out on a straight, like on a timeline for people to watch. But yeah.
Taylor, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.